What if I told you there's a country where one wrong word can make you disappear forever? This isn't a movie. This is the hidden reality of life inside North Korea. Welcome to Silver Narratives. Today, I'm going to share something so shocking, so unbelievable, that it may sound like a movie. But it's not fiction. It's not a fantasy story. Everything you are about to hear is real. This is not just a story, it is reality. And it is a reality so powerful and disturbing that it may completely change the way you see the world. Imagine waking up in a place where you cannot choose the clothes you wear. You cannot listen to the music you enjoy. You cannot even speak freely, not at school, not at work, not even inside your own home. Imagine being afraid that one wrong word could make you disappear forever. Imagine being sent to prison because you did not cry enough at your leader's funeral. Imagine trying to escape, only to know that your entire family will be punished because of you. Can you picture living like this? This is the reality of life in North Korea. Today, we will step inside this hidden world, a country closed off from almost everyone. By the end of this story, you may feel shocked, heartbroken, and perhaps even thankful for the freedom you have. So stay with me until the end, because only then will you truly understand. For more than 70 years, just one family has controlled North Korea. It began with Kim Il-sung, the country's first dictator. After him, power passed to his son, Kim Jong-il. And today, his grandson, Kim Jong-un, rules the nation. 3 generations. One family. Over 26 million people under their control. They treat the country like their private kingdom, living in luxury while many citizens struggle to survive. No one is allowed to question them. No one is allowed to disagree. In many countries, when a baby is born, parents dream about their child's future. They choose their child's name, their school, and imagine what they might become one day. But in North Korea, your future is not yours to choose. From the moment you are born, the government decides your path. One of the first things decided for you is something called Songbin. Songbin is a social ranking system. Think of it as an invisible label that follows you your entire life. If your family is considered loyal to the government, you receive a high ranking. That means better schools, better jobs, and a better life. But if your family is seen as disloyal, your ranking is low, and your life becomes full of limits and suffering. The most shocking part? Your Songbin is not based on what you do. It is based on what your ancestors did. If your grandfathers supported the government, you may live comfortably. But if someone in your family, even many years ago, criticized the government or had the wrong background, your entire family can suffer for generations. There is no way to change it. No matter how hard you study. No matter how honest or kind you are. Your future is already decided. Imagine being punished for something your great-grandfather did, someone you may have never even met. Imagine knowing that no matter how hard you try, you can never escape your past. And this is only the beginning. In many countries, people choose their own style. Women can wear jeans, skirts, dresses, or shorts. Men can grow their hair long, shave it completely, or style it however they like. Fashion is a form of self-expression. It shows personality. It shows freedom. But in North Korea, even your clothes are controlled by the government. Women are expected to wear skirts that cover their knees. Jeans, short skirts, or tight clothing are forbidden. If a woman is caught wearing something considered too modern, she can be punished. Red lipstick? Not allowed, it is described as a Western influence. Hair is also controlled. The government has approved only a limited number of hairstyles, around 50 official styles for men and women. Nothing more. Nothing different. If a man lets his hair grow longer than the approved length, police may stop him in the street. If a woman dyes her hair, she can face punishment. Imagine being arrested simply because of your hairstyle. There was even a woman in the capital city who was arrested for wearing tight pants. She was sent to a re-education camp and forced to do hard labor for months. Her crime? Dressing in a way the government did not approve. This is not an old story. This is real life. Now think about food, one of the most basic human needs. In most parts of the world, people can go to a supermarket and choose what they want to eat. Even in poorer countries, there is usually some choice. But in North Korea, food is strictly controlled by the state. Every family receives a monthly ration. The amount and quality depend on your songbin, your social ranking. Families with higher status may receive rice, eggs, and vegetables. Families with lower status may receive only corn and cabbage. Meat is a rare luxury that many people cannot afford even once a year. One man who escaped the country shared that, as a child, his family received only 3 kilograms of rice per month. It was not enough to survive. To make it last longer, they mixed it with grass and even tree bark. Imagine eating that just to stay alive. There is also a black market where people secretly buy and sell food. But if they are caught, they can be sent to prison, or face even harsher punishment. And perhaps the most frightening control is not over clothes or food, but over your mind. In many countries, people are free to think differently. They can criticize leaders, read various books, and watch movies from around the world. But in North Korea, control begins in childhood. Children are taught that their leader is like a god. They must memorize his speeches. Every home has a government radio that cannot be turned off, broadcasting messages all day long. Television, books, newspapers, everything is controlled. There is no open internet. Citizens cannot freely access news from other countries. If someone is caught watching a foreign movie, the punishment can be extreme. There was a teenager who secretly watched a drama from South Korea. He was publicly executed in front of thousands of people. His parents were sent to a prison camp for 15 years. Imagine losing your life just for watching a television show. And the fear does not stop there. There are secret police everywhere. Neighbors may report neighbors. Co-workers may report co-workers. Even family members are sometimes forced to report each other. Trust becomes dangerous. Silence becomes survival. This is the hidden world few people truly understand, a world where even your thoughts can cost you your freedom. In North Korea, fear is part of daily life. If someone reports you for criticizing the government, even as a joke, you can disappear overnight. People whisper inside their own homes because they are afraid someone might be listening. Neighbors watch neighbors. One woman shared that her neighbor was taken away in the middle of the night after telling a joke about the leader. He was never seen again. In this country, your life does not fully belong to you. What you wear, what you eat, what you say, even what you think, is controlled. And there is more. Inside every home, 2 framed portraits must hang on the wall, one of Kim Il-sung, the founder of the nation, and one of Kim Jong-il, his son. These portraits must always be clean and in perfect condition. They cannot be decorated. No other pictures can hang on the same wall. Every morning, families carefully wipe away dust. Government inspectors visit homes to check if the portraits are properly maintained. There is even a rule that during a fire, your first duty is to save the portraits, before saving anything else. In one tragic case, a father ran to rescue his young daughter from a house fire but forgot to take the portraits. The next day, he was arrested. His crime? Failing to protect the images of the leaders. Now think about money. North Koreans work long hours every day. But the average monthly salary is said to be only about $3 to $5. That is not enough to buy food for even a week. To survive, many people secretly trade goods in illegal black markets. They buy and sell food, clothes, and small items. But if they are caught, everything can be taken away, their money, their food, and their freedom. One man worked extra hours at a factory and saved a small amount of money. He used it to buy rice on the black market. When police discovered this, they confiscated his savings and sent him to a labor camp. And these camps are terrifying. People can be sent there for even small rule violations. Former prisoners describe conditions worse than a nightmare. Food is extremely limited, sometimes just a few grains of rice and watery soup each day. To survive, prisoners catch rats, frogs, and insects. Some eat grass or tree bark. One survivor said he saw prisoners fighting over a single dead rat because they were starving. Another was beaten nearly to death simply for trying to eat grass without permission. North Korea has a population of around 26 million people, and reports suggest that more than 40% struggle with food shortages. In the 1990s, the country experienced a devastating famine. Millions are believed to have died from hunger. Parents watched helplessly as their children grew weak from starvation. Yet at the same time, the government invested heavily in weapons, grand buildings, and luxury lifestyles. Today, Kim Jong-un, the current leader, is reported to enjoy extreme luxury, private properties, expensive cars, fine food, and even personal entertainment facilities. Meanwhile, many ordinary citizens struggle to find their next meal. One man who escaped once said, "The leader eats steak and drinks expensive wine, while children in my village were eating grass and dying in the streets." It is difficult to imagine such a contrast, one family living in wealth, while millions fight simply to survive. And this is still not the full picture. In most countries, if you want to visit another city, you simply buy a bus or train ticket and go. Traveling is normal. It is part of life. But in North Korea, you cannot travel freely. To move from one city to another, you must receive official permission from the government. Without it, you can be arrested. And leaving the country? Almost impossible. The borders are heavily guarded, especially near China. Soldiers patrol day and night. There was a woman who tried to escape with her young son. She paid smugglers to help them cross a river into China. But before they could reach safety, guards caught them. Witnesses say she was executed in front of a crowd. Her little boy was sent to a prison camp. In many parts of the world, if you commit a crime, only you are punished. But in North Korea, punishment can extend to your entire family. This is often called 3 generations of punishment. If one person is accused of a crime, parents, siblings, and even children can be sent to prison camps. One man was caught listening to foreign music. He received a 20-year prison sentence, and his parents and younger brother were also imprisoned simply because they were related to him. Another man escaped to South Korea. When the authorities discovered this, they arrested his entire family, including his elderly grandmother. Imagine knowing that one mistake could destroy the lives of everyone you love. Information is also tightly controlled. In most countries, people use Google, YouTube, and social media. They watch international movies, listen to global music, and read books from different cultures. But in North Korea, there is no open internet. Citizens cannot freely access global websites. Television channels show only government-approved programs, mostly propaganda. Books are strictly controlled. Reading foreign material is illegal. One young man was caught with a South Korean music video saved on a USB drive. His punishment was execution. Now we enter the darkest part of this story. If you are accused of listening to a foreign song or criticizing the government, you may be taken away without warning. No trial. No lawyer. No chance to defend yourself. You simply disappear. North Korea operates several prison camps. One of the most notorious is Camp 14. Those sent there are rarely released. Prisoners wake up at 5 a.m. and work until midnight. If they slow down, they are beaten. Food is extremely limited, a small portion of corn and dirty water each day. To survive, many catch rats, frogs, or insects. One of the most well-known survivors is Shin Dong-hyuk. He was born inside Camp 14. He did not even know that life outside the camp existed. His parents were prisoners, forced by guards to marry inside the camp. As a child, Shin was made to watch public executions. For him, this was normal life. Think about that for a moment, being born in a prison, growing up surrounded by fear, hunger, and death, without even knowing that freedom is possible. This is not a scene from a dystopian novel. It is reality for many people. And there is still more to understand. One survivor, Shin Dong-hyuk, witnessed something no child should ever see. When he was young, guards forced him to watch the execution of his own mother and brother. Their crime? Planning to escape from Camp 14. The guards made Shin watch as punishment. Imagine the fear. Imagine the trauma. Shin later managed to escape, but he is one of the very few who survived. Most prisoners die from hunger, disease, exhaustion, or torture. In North Korea, prison is not always the end of the punishment. Sometimes, people are executed publicly. These executions are not hidden. They are done in front of crowds to spread fear. Citizens are forced to watch. The message is clear: disobey, and you die. What crimes can lead to execution? Watching a foreign movie. Owning a Bible. Trying to escape. Speaking badly about the leader. One woman was reportedly executed simply for distributing Bibles. Fear becomes a weapon. You might ask, why don't people rise up? Why don't they fight back? The answer is propaganda. From birth, children are taught that North Korea is the greatest country in the world. They are told their leader is like a god. They are taught that the outside world, places like the United States, South Korea, or Europe, are full of suffering and poverty. There is no open internet. No foreign books. No independent news. Television and school lessons repeat the same message every day. Even visitors are sometimes shown carefully staged cities and fake stores, designed to create an illusion of prosperity. And then there are the myths about the ruling family. Citizens are taught extraordinary stories about Kim Il-sung, Kim Jong-il, and today's leader, Kim Jong-un. Some are told that Kim Jong-il never needed to use the toilet because his body was perfect. Others are told that Kim Jong-un can control the weather with his emotions. There are even stories claiming that when Kim Il-sung was born, a new star appeared in the sky. People must bow to statues. They must cry at memorials. If someone does not show enough emotion, they can be punished. There was a man who reportedly fell asleep during a speech by Kim Jong-un. He was taken away, and never seen again. Kim Jong-un does not even spare his own relatives. In 2017, his half-brother, Kim Jong-nam, was assassinated in Malaysia, reportedly poisoned at an airport. He had spoken critically about the regime. Kim Jong-un also ordered the execution of his uncle, Jang Song-thaek, accusing him of disloyalty. Reports say even family members were forced to watch. In most countries, criticizing a leader is part of free speech. But in North Korea, whispering he is not a good leader can make you disappear. One man said those words quietly to a friend. Days later, police came to his house. He was never seen again. A woman caught listening to South Korean radio was taken away with her entire family the next morning. Some are executed immediately. Others are sent to labor camps, where hunger, beatings, and forced labor slowly destroy them. This is why people remain silent. This is why fear controls daily life. You have now seen how control reaches into clothing, food, travel, speech, family, even thoughts. You have seen how labor camps operate, how public executions spread terror, and how propaganda shapes belief from childhood. But there is another side to this story. There are secret escape routes. Underground networks. Brave people who risk everything to guide others to freedom. There are also complex political reasons why change is so difficult, and why some powerful nations hesitate to interfere. And there are secrets the government works desperately to hide from the world. What comes next may be the most dangerous part of all. In many countries, if you dislike your government, you can move somewhere else. You can start again. But in North Korea, leaving the country without permission is a crime. If someone is caught trying to escape, the punishment can be brutal. Some are publicly executed to frighten others. Some are sent to labor camps for life, where hunger and torture slowly destroy them. And it does not stop there. Parents, siblings, even children can also be punished. The government believes in guilt by association. Yet even with these risks, some people still try. To the south lies South Korea, but between them stands the Korean Demilitarized Zone, often called the DMZ. It is one of the most heavily guarded borders in the world, filled with landmines, barbed wire, and armed soldiers. Crossing it is nearly impossible. To the north is China. In winter, rivers freeze. Guards are trained to shoot anyone attempting to cross. For most defectors, the only possible route is to secretly cross into China and then travel through dangerous underground paths to reach South Korea or another safe country. But escaping is only the beginning. Some defectors who were caught and sent back described horrifying torture, beatings with metal rods, fingernails pulled out with pliers, being forced to kneel on sharp stones for hours. Pregnant women, especially those carrying babies fathered by Chinese men, were reportedly forced to have abortions. One well-known defector, Park Yeon-mi, escaped as a teenager. Later, she learned that a friend who was caught trying to flee was executed in front of her own family. Despite the danger, brave individuals risk everything to help others escape. There are secret underground networks, similar to the historic Underground Railroad in the United States, guiding North Koreans through hidden routes. Safe houses. Secret contacts. Long journeys across multiple countries. If discovered, both the escapee and the helper can face severe punishment. Trust is fragile. One mistake can mean death. And something else is happening quietly inside the country. Information is being smuggled in. USB drives filled with foreign movies and news reports pass secretly from hand to hand. Small radios are hidden inside walls so families can listen to broadcasts from South Korea. Activists sometimes send balloons across the border carrying leaflets, money, and memory drives. The government fears this more than anything, because information breaks fear. Once people learn the truth about the outside world, control becomes harder. That is why being caught with foreign media can lead to execution. Many people ask, why doesn't the world stop this? The answer is complicated. China maintains ties with North Korea partly because it wants a strategic buffer between itself and U.S. allied South Korea. Russia has also maintained economic connections at times. Global politics, military tensions, and nuclear weapons make governments cautious. No one wants a war on the Korean peninsula. So the situation remains delicate, and millions remain trapped. But here is the final truth, the one the regime fears most. Despite the control, despite the fear, despite decades of propaganda, people are slowly waking up. More citizens are secretly listening to foreign radio. More are watching smuggled dramas. More are questioning what they have been told since birth. And some are no longer as afraid as before. One day, change may come from within. One day, the silence may break. And when that happens, the world will finally see the full truth, the suffering, yes, but also the courage of millions who endured. This has been one of the most powerful stories we have shared on Silver Narratives. If this story moved you, stay curious. Stay compassionate. And never take your freedom for granted. The government of North Korea fears only one thing, the moment when its people fully realize the truth. Because when people stop believing the lies, when they stop fearing the myths, every dictatorship begins to weaken. Now you understand the deeper reality. North Korea is not just a country on a map. For many of its 26 million citizens, it feels like a massive prison. People live under constant surveillance. Fear shapes daily life. Yet even in that darkness, some are quietly resisting, sharing forbidden information, questioning propaganda, dreaming of escape. The world is watching, but global politics make change complicated. Powerful nations calculate risks. Leaders worry about war and instability. And while governments debate, ordinary people continue to suffer. But here is the truth the regime cannot fully control, more citizens are beginning to wake up. Information is slowly entering. Doubt is slowly growing. And when awareness spreads, fear begins to lose its power. This is one of the most heartbreaking stories of our time, but it is not finished. As long as even one person dares to question, dares to resist, dares to dream of freedom, hope is still alive. And history has shown us something important, walls built on fear do not stand forever. If this story opened your eyes, share it. The more people who understand, the harder it becomes to hide the truth. And if you are watching this right now, remember how fortunate you are. You can walk outside without fear. You can choose your clothes, your food, your words. You can watch any movie, read any book, explore the internet freely. You can travel, study, and build the life you want. Millions of North Koreans are still dreaming of these simple freedoms. So the next time you feel frustrated, pause for a moment. Appreciate the freedom you have, because for many, it is only a dream. This was the shocking truth about North Korea. But what about the man at the center of it all, Kim Jong-un? How did he rise to power? What shaped his childhood? How did he become one of the most feared leaders in the world? And what secrets surround his family and his rule? If you would like a full biography and deep story about Kim Jong-un, comment below and let us know.